Yeah. Hear me not scatter. Yeah.
Minutes past 10. All right. Again, this is the cutting edge. Lest we forget, the cutting edge is here. We come on at this time of the night. So we are tell you, we are going to say, the dry. No rain, no nothing. No breeze, no blow. No chicken underneath the ground. You understand? But they are with you, So that's what I'm going to say, Trust me, that's what I'm going to say. The things that are going on at Jamaica is like, everybody gets scared. Everybody gets scared because you don't know what will happen the next week. I'm going to keep saying it over and over, Every time I left here on a Thursday, something happened when the program done, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, Monday. And you come back, it's a total different thing people are talking about. Now, this killing with this little girl, people are talking about it for 2 weeks, But, meanwhile, that, we still never confront the politician them and them raise a peer. Where Mark Golding say him gay 80% I'm paid to this, that. I want to know if it's every month, the pay where I get is that this is where I give them now, I'm going to keep giving them the 80%. That is really something. Are we going to see him giving 80% now and then Peter off? I'm going to continue giving 80%. But I am told that the majority of PNP people, them agree with the raise. And them hush, except for what's your name there? The pretty one there, the Miss World one. I can't remember her name. I love her, so I can't remember her name. What's your name again?
Lisa
agree with the raise. And she say, most of the PNP them agree with it, but them no want to say nothing but less. The people look upon them a different way. And she say, the people them get what them pay for. I don't understand them statement there, no, Lisa. Or they cannot talk about we get what we pay for. That means we pay for filth, so the whole town have filth. And that child actually I say, the money we're supposed to make them work properly, them now get it, so obviously them now work properly. And some me deduct from it. Then how that I go? If everybody get up then I say them want see a better Jamaica, and then the politician them say, yeah, we want to see a better Jamaica, but you say if you don't pay we right to the now see a better Jamaica. That means them not have Jamaica at heart. A joke business. Joke business. So when she come now and said, we get what we pay for. In other words, if you don't pay a little bit of money, you don't get a little bit of service. And what kind of government that? What kind of government a work out this thing here? And a whole heap of them things so too. But as she one ball out, the other one them round the corner talk about it secretly. That's why we know say no better air, no better barrel. Because really and truly, that done away with now, back to normal. And we still not hear about the Governor General, because really and truly, the Governor General money linked to them say they judge them and whatsoever them linked to. So if fee money go down, for them money have to go down too. You think them people are easy? Why you link Governor General money with some people? Governor General, a King Charles supposed to pay him. King Charles supposed to pay him and pay him household and him servant them and all them thing there. And him Ghana almost 30 odd million. Or me not hear my ball out, say, I give nothing to nobody. Because him not really need it. Him not really need it. It's a terrible thing them do to the people. But getting back to what me that go say, because really and truly, the state of Jamaica kind of look away now. And we hear them tell about how this doing better now and that doing better now. And we see all of the company them in the private sector and make more profit now. So everything is fine and done there and okay. Brethren, Mr. Politician, the people them don't see what you say. The people them don't see it. You can't just say it in a parliament and talk on radio every day. That's why I don't interview politicians, you know. I mean, if them call is one thing, but me not go tell Shamara. So Shamara would I like to speak to the minister. But doing that. Because anytime they talk, them have sweet mouth. And if it's PNP come, him have sweet mouth. And when the JLP come, him have sweet mouth too. Confusion in a room. Confusion in a room. The people them don't see what you're talking about. All the highfalutin and this and that, where we are here going. Everything this and everything that. The people them not seeing it. I want them to know that. I want them to know so the people them don't see what I say. Look at the constitutional reform and what they claim now. The people them don't have a clue about what it is all about. Don't have a clue when they talk about republic and when they talk about executive president and when they talk about this and that. The people them don't have a clue what this is all about. As a matter of fact, most of them feel that the king should have run Jamaica. Because when the queen should have run Jamaica, it did better. As some Jamaican people think. That's why everybody run to America or Canada. Or part of one of them islands, the Belize or St. Lucia. Them feel more secure in there. The people them don't feel what the politicians them are say. All the things them when you hear this and that. The people them don't feel it. And if you know that. If you know so the people them don't feel it. But you're not going to know nothing about it. Because when I sell out the country, when I block off the beach them, landlocked way. Right, sir. So if you should know, say I laugh, me I laugh. We are being landlocked. Them are corner into the center. And then them use the flatland and build mansions and send the people them on the hillside when it should be the other way around. Them send the people on the hillside and build the mansion them on the farmland. The people them not feeling no politician, the people them not feeling no. It's a terrible thing. And then now we have the children them is in danger. What a thing. What a thing. We're going to take some phone call, you know. Yeah, we're going to take some phone call. 6 minutes to 11 o'clock. Okay. All right. We could start over this junior. We want to start it over. Cutting edge.
Yeah, good night, man.
Good night, sir.
How everything?
Everything is going as how it's supposed to go.
Yeah. Why, Muta? I have some problem, Muta. We want some water. We get 2 weeks out of rain, Muta, and we don't have no water. We need water.
Which part are they?
The response to water need for years, so Long Bay need water.
Long Bay want water?
Yes.
And where them do? Chuck it in, come give on our water?
Well, them used to chuck water, you know, every 2 weeks. But now, we get a whole heap of rain, what is 2 weeks out of rain.
Yeah. So them fees don't have enough now?
Yeah, enough water supposed in the reservoir, you know. So
no, I mean, on a long beer. Because the rainfall, them not bring no more water.
No.
And the water
So
done.
Yeah, so what if you do now, turn on the pipe and make everybody get water in them yard.
Okay.
So
when the truck come, which part you not going to get the water? Out the road?
Yes, Muta?
When the truck come, which part you not going to get the water? Out of the road?
Well, the truck park down the road, you know.
Everybody run go down there?
Everybody come down for water who need it.
Okay.
But a lot of rainfall now.
Yeah.
So the minister responds to water. He need to do something in Long Bay here. We need water in the pipe.
Well, you hear what them say now. Them say, even though we see the rain a fall, so it's not enough for really go back to normal. That is what them a claim. But you don't believe that, eh?
I'm understand glad for the rain.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, glad for the rain and the rain are coming up is one thing. What them a say is that even though we see the rain fall away, it's not enough for really go back to normal. But you don't believe them.
Well, to the amount we're falling, whole is in a motor.
No, but then you hear them say $100 million worth of damage to water, though. You never hear them say that?
I think me here say.
Yeah, man, them say the rain will fall that day, $100 million worth of damage. So enough water that. So, I don't know. Call out to them, man. Call out to them. Why you member of parliament up there?
Yes. Miss Anna Rivers.
Oh, the king and the queen.
Yes, Miss Vaz and Mr. Vaz.
On a ball about water, man. Look at them want to cry tears and drink it.
You know what I want you to do for me, Muta?
What?
What I want you to put it over tomorrow. You know, if you could have tape me and put it over when you come on.
Tape me? Tape me? Me can't tape you from here, so.
Yes, Muta?
Me can't tape you, man. I have to remember.
Oh, me don't know if you could have write it down. And when you come on tomorrow, you put it on.
Yeah, let me write it down, say. Where Long Bay, you say?
Yeah, Long Bay, Portland.
Long Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they must say, you must turn on about the water.
Yes, I make we get water. Muta?
Yes.
You know, I don't want you announce to me. You don't know if you want. If you
but you don't tell me if you announce, man. You don't tell me if you announce.
Alright. Tell them. So remember that Bertina Wilson is a customer.
Who named Bertina Wilson? Who named Bertina Wilson?
That's my mother named Bertina Wilson.
Then everybody up there no customer.
Yeah, so then we turn on the pipe, make everybody get water in them yard.
No, but why you say Bertina? Why you call about Bertina? Say she's a customer.
Me I talk about every customer. Turn on the pipe, make every customer get water.
Yeah, man, they may not hear that, man. You see, me must remember, me write it down. Tomorrow, they must say it.
Yes.
All right, and I hope them a listen. Long beer, water.
And the manager, his name is Mr. Williams, he need to make him clean and turn on the pipe and make we get water. Mr.
Who
Williams.
that know, Mr. Williams?
Yes, sir.
His name Mr. Williams?
The manager for NWC, name Mr. Williams.
Yeah.
So what he needs to do, he needs to make him team them.
Turn on the water, yeah.
Make we get water, because water is life.
Yes, all right, sir.
Yeah, so you're going to do that for me tomorrow.
Yeah, me write it down. I hope me remember. Right. She ain't remind me.
All right. Thank you very much, Muta.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Big up yourself.
All right. And some of them could have listen now too, you know. If you do them go like them now listen. Long Bay, them and people, them say them want water up there. Them say them see enough rain and fall, so them know why them are suffer so. And the truck now come round with the water again. So, want to do something, you know, because trust me, I want if them want the mothers, them cry and then take them tears and use it for beard. I don't understand these people. My area never did have water the other day. Them used to lock it off 3 times. Yeah, lock it off 3 times for the week. But I notice say our 2 times now it lock off. And they say, and I suggest everybody must get a tank, you know, Rasta. Everybody forget tank, man. Go buy a tank, one of them 1,000 gallon tank where they bought the place where everybody are. Rhino them name, Rhino tank. Everybody should have one in that Jamaica because, you know, see, in the abundance of water, the fool thirsty. And them say so much rain fall the other day. So much rain fall that it will cost them $100,000 for fix back the damage. Give me no 100,000. 100 million for fix back the damage. So, I miss the rain did a fall. I mean, may I tell you, the rain step it. The rain step it. But then again, them I say, it wasn't enough. And you know, so the dry time will come on now. Unless we're going to hear about a hurricane will pass through Haiti and we get a brown tight. But the hurricane supposed they about the place soon. Because them say a hurricane season now. So, one day your ball say you can't get no water. The next day your ball say you have too much water. You know, see, everything working according to its nature. It don't work according to man plan. And that enough you know is not man a planet. Man must plan how to harvest the water. And harvest the sunlight too. And then we won't complain. You know, see it. And that is what government is there to do. Government is there to see that the people, them infrastructure and security is in place. So when you say all water now, not about, it could have more water now with the water over the lab before, but because they never put nothing in place to have that amount of water to save. Short space of time the water gone. So we have to do something about it. It's past 11 o'clock. Yes, Carla. Hail.
Hail, Motor.
Yeah, blessed man.
Blessed love. You go for #1 radio station in Jamaica.
Yes, #1 again for 30 odd years.
Yeah, man.
For 30 odd years, I refer my #1. Yeah, that is a feat in itself.
Yes, Motor. The thing in Jamaica right now, I tell you everything gone haywire.
I tell you, topsy-turvy.
I tell you, Rasta, things set away, you know. I hear the talk to Mr. Vincent Morrison the other day in regards to the security guard them on the island, yeah. But,
Yeah.
Right now, the security guard them can't secure them one themselves.
I talk to one the other day again, you know. I'm not on the radio. Because every time them see me, them call me and they talk to me.
Yeah, but
It no resolve. It no resolve. The thing no resolve.
No resolve, because the big issue is that majority of the security them not want to join the union. So
Yeah.
if them not want to join the union, them are going to just deal with them one by one.
Yeah.
You know, that's the whole things of the matter, you know.
Yeah.
You know, but it's a vibe still, you know.
Well, I don't know how it's so difficult to make the people them be happy. You know, them have it within them power to make the people them happy, and them just prefer the miserableness and the killing and the crime and, you know, just frustration and fear. And them have it in them power to make the people them happy.
You know, petition them, make themselves happy first.
Yeah, and second too.
This whole compensation review thing, everybody say it's an unjust thing.
Yeah.
It's not justified, unjust.
Okay.
One set of people take too much for themselves.
Yeah.
And the vast majority of the people have little but scraps and, you know.
Yeah, and then them come on the radio and I tell you how good the country is doing after the COVID. Them going back to pre-COVID state. And how much this a company make $6 billion in the first quarter. And I say, wait, what the hell is going on? And then them do what them want to do with them. Child abuse. Yes, Ian.
Ian the great MUTABARUKA.
Yeah, man, blessed man.
Oh, yeah, man. I see all kind of thing I go on.
Great are you, man.
Yeah, man.
Oh, you know.
Yeah, man, but touching every so often, you know.
Of course.
I see all kind of things I go on here, there, everywhere.
Yes, yes.
You know, and so I don't know.
The madness turn up, brethren.
Yeah, man, you see it. Sometimes, but it's on the international sticks too.
Yeah.
You understand? And what our little thing we need to fix, our little problem, and it's easy to fix. We just need people with strong political will to fix the thing.
Them now, they don't have any balls.
They don't have any, thank you. Everybody just a fight to stay in power.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
They're just fighting to stay in power, that's all. You know, and them trick the people, they don't want to educate the people to understand what life is worth, if you understand. Because, what you know, life in a motor, you have to learn that not everybody supposed to be rich, and not everybody supposed to aspire to be rich the same way. Because you are rich to you, would that be a different. Rich to you would be different from next man,
Yeah.
You understand? Some man, you know what I mean? So, and the people have to learn to acknowledge and understand, so we can't all have the same thing, but we can't all be comfortable and respect the next one.
Of course, it's comfortableness I work with.
Comfortableness.
Yeah.
You know, but most of the people must train for aspire to have the same thing, this fancy car and this, you know.
Yeah.
Too much entertainment, man. Too much singing and dancing to the wrong tune. Car and this, you know.
Yeah.
Too much entertainment, man. Too much singing and dancing to the wrong tune.
And that man said too.
You know, and we lack leaders, we lack visionary leaders. You know, everybody, and that is the big problem. Everybody aspire for the whole of the youth them rather, should I say, most of the youth them were allowed that everybody want the same thing. And everybody want a script for scam for buy new car, new thing, and you know, it's wicked. And then they get caught up in this life. I don't even know more. It's rough. It's rough.
Terrible, man.
You know?
Terrible.
It's rough, but we lack leaders, man. You know, the school them not teaching the youth them what's
supposed to make them be a better person.
Thank you.
Them want them fit into job we don't there. Them a teach them how to fit in a jobs we don't there.
Thank you. The education system needs to revamp. We use them a train them for a 19th century education. This is moving forward. You understand?
Yeah. That's why I always say, where them a teach you them now for left school, 10 years time, it's null and void where them know, because where them a teach them now have no significance 10, 20 years from now.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, and the quicker you find out that, the better down the way you can go solve it. You understand?
Yeah.
Because the way you have picked their focus now, because in a couple of years, you know, school probably are very relevant. Because guess what? Anything you want to know, you just have the phone in there.
Internet, yes.
You Google the answer.
You don't have to do no exam.
You don't have to do nothing at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't have to do nothing at all. You take up your phone. So the chip of them there tell you, say, don't put in there. Them put the chip in there. Them just give the chip in there and I don't even know.
Yeah, the
I mean,
iPhone.
have a phone in their hand,
The
and
iPhone.
them know everywhere they do, everywhere you're there, them tracking you, they know where you're there.
But it always surprise these conspiracy theorists who are tell you say them are gonna put chip in at this COVID vaccine, them are gonna put, and because them want to track you, them want to know where they, them know over there anytime at all.
They know every time of the day, because them can just ping your phone anywhere you're there.
Your phone, your television set, them know everything, but a satellite them are using, I know nothing when man are walk around and watch, you know.
No.
Yeah, nobody now walk around and watch you. Them don't know your passport is identification for know where you're there. Thing, but a satellite them are using, I know nothing when man are walk around and watch, you know.
No.
Yeah, nobody now walk around and watch you. Them don't know your passport is identification for know where you're there. Them put them about little thing in your passport the way where them swipe it when you reach at the airport. Yeah. It don't tell everything about you. When them ask you just preliminary, them just ask you because them want you say the wrong thing.
Them want and then you go say the wrong thing and then they just start questioning.
Yeah, they don't know say that in the computer last time. Man, I tell you about them a put chip in you and them a put chip this up. Chip where? Them not put no chip in you. And you a put the chip in yourself.
Thank you. The people we are head of the game.
Yeah, man.
Education thing we need is the thing we need to teach the people, you them, how to get along with each other. We need to teach teachers, to teach people, for the youth them, to make them get along with each other. That's, something will come irrelevant. No, we don't need, eventually, we don't need no school with nobody else sitting in the
no school.
However, you understand?
Yeah.
So all the where I got when the people them sit down together, when if you focus on is the people them all get along with each other, respect each other. The most important you can teach them. Because you teach them to them
anything. You know what teach them
anything, anytime, anywhere. Teach them so look here no man, just get along with each other. That you start basic indoctrinate them that way to love them community, love them surrounding, respect them people, because I'm a son. I'm a son, because it's, but I can't get certain things. We have to simplify the thing.
We have to move the break, come up and we're going to see
big up yourself, man.
Yeah, man, I
big up
yes.
all of East Kingston, everybody. Big up.
Yeah. 16 minutes past 11 book, you will see that and children and marriage and death, all of these things, and that is one of the famous poem that was written by this man and was covered so many times. So we'll give you three of those poems, the same poem. We want to play this. We have to play this. We want to play it. Here we go. Oh, we can't play it, we don't want to cut it, so we don't have to play it, We don't have to play it because it will get cut and we have to hear it right through. So after the advertisement, we're going to play it, and it is about NATO. I hope everybody know where NATO mean, and Russia and Ukraine, and how America is fighting a proxy war against Russia because them want to in a country near to Russia because them really are trying to manipulate it. But if Russia decides, say, you remember when Russia said them have set up with Cuba and nearly start a world war. But now we say America is right beside Russia now. A fight a war and a talk about a Ukraine a fight the war. Ukraine are fighting a war. We're going to come forward. This is the cutting edge.
Or in the Caribbean. So why would Russia accept U.S., which NATO is really, U.S., military missiles and bombs and planes and tanks right at its border. And number 4, it wants that the world recognize Crimea, Lugansk, and Donetsk as territories separate from Ukraine, because they're full of Russian speakers. They're full of ethnic Russians. So there is some historical claim there that we don't know all the intricacies and nuances of that. We act like, we're pro-Donetsk as territories separate from Ukraine, because they're full of Russian speakers. They're full of ethnic Russians. So there is some historical claim there that we don't know all the intricacies and nuances of that. We act like, we're pro-Ukrainian and we don't even know what's happened there. Now, all these demands could have been met without war and the death of thousands of troops and civilians. But now Western NATO leaders are talking tough publicly. But know that the defeat of the Ukrainian army is a foregone conclusion, and that the sanctions on Russia might hurt the West as much or worse than Russia. Since 2004, Western leaders have worked to keep Ukraine impoverished and corrupt as a way to cultivate a puppet state that would act as a wedge to destabilize Russian security, even while some Western politicians have been personally enriched by corrupt business dealings in Russia and Ukraine. And that goes straight to the Biden family. That's what Donald Trump was trying to investigate. He was impeached for making a call about getting facts on how deep was the corruption, how deep was the deep state, how many people were making millions of dollars in Ukraine. And the Biden family were involved. It's not even a secret. A peace deal was possible. Putin had said what he wanted. We could have negotiated. Did you know that 1 month after the invasion, Russia and Ukraine were ready to sign a peace deal in April 2022? But Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of UK, personally traveled to Ukraine to meet Zelensky and stop a peace deal. This has now come out. The war would have been over 2 months after it started. Europe would not be short of energy, food, or fertilizer, and the world price of oil and gas would not have skyrocketed. None of your bills would have gone up if Boris Johnson had not personally met with Zelensky. And here's what went down. According to multiple former senior U.S. officials, in April 2022, Russia and Ukraine negotiators appeared to have tentatively agreed on the outlines of a negotiated interim settlement. Russia would withdraw to its position on February 23, when it controlled part of Donbass region and all of Crimea, and in exchange, Ukraine would promise not to seek NATO membership and instead receive security guarantees from a number of countries. Reasonable? Is Putin the war criminal or Boris Johnson? Putin was ready to sign this peace deal. You would have averted the deaths. You would have averted the energy crisis. We don't even know how many lies, how deep the lies go. Only when these things begin to come out. And how many people report this? Is this on CNN? Is this on BBC? It's such a controlled narrative. According to a Western newspaper, a pro-Western newspaper in Ukraine, it said that even if, Boris Johnson said, even if Ukraine is ready to sign some agreement on guarantees with Putin, they are not. Western powers are not. Johnson's position was that the collective West now felt that Putin was not really as powerful as they had previously imagined, and that here was a chance to press him. So they were going for war. They were trying to destroy a part of Europe. You cannot have European security without including Russia. Russia is a part of Europe. But they're alienating Russia. Sounds like a bad marriage. They seem to have this formula down pat. The entire world sanctioned Russian oil, froze Russian assets, attacked the Russian ruble, forbade Russian stocks to trade. Netflix even canceled paid subscriptions. Can you imagine that? On what basis? You're a Russian, you didn't start any war, you paid for your Netflix, you can't access it anymore. Russian news was wiped off the internet. There used to be RT. You used to hear both sides. They demonized Russia and completely stopped any flow of information from the other side. We're still living in this, and you think we have free press, free speech? They're tightening the noose. One day they will say, I cannot preach the word of God. And I will preach. I will preach to my dying day.
Yes. Just something for you ponder upon. Just something for you ponder upon. Because we know, say, the biggest war criminals, them, is the ones them who instigate the war in Iraq, where over 1 million people dead. We know, say, the people them will instigate the downfall of Gaddafi. It's the same people them will instigate the Iraq war. It's the same people them who try to topple the Cuban president Fidel Castro over the years. And them want to put for themselves in a position just like all them go in a Taiwan now. And them a put themselves in a place where them not supposed to there. But a country where border next country, them want to put themselves in the country. And when the country where them border declare, say, no, we're not going to have none of that. Everybody ball out and say, war, and more war. And not only that, you hear about criminals and who must go at the criminal court, what them call the ICC, International Court, Criminal Court. And when them go in our country, Bush and him friend them go kill children. When them go in a Yemen and kill people, who going to carry them to the criminal court? Who going to do that? Because we know about criminal court. But the criminal court, where them having an egg, is only for black people, black leaders who them describe as vicious and cruel and commit genocide in them country. Them use that court for try black people. But now them a call upon the world now, say Putin is a war criminal. He need to step up in front of the court. But who going to put him there? Who going to put him there? Who put the man who instigate the killing of Muammar Gaddafi, which is Obama and the lady Clinton, Hillary, who went carry them to the criminal court, who went carry the Bush to the criminal court for the murder and death of many children and mothers who died in the Iraq war for something that no go so, for a lie them tell, and cause the whole world to go with them behind the lie. So we are asked the question, these people is in league to bring all sort of weaponry in a Ukraine and make Ukraine become like America, like the other country them in a Europe. Can you imagine them want to create little Americas right beside country that them deem as enemy. And when the people them bawl out and say, no, we will have none of that. You see how much millions and billions of dollars in ammunition them send go to Ukraine. Millions, billions, every month you hear how much $1 billion what of this a go along there, and $1 billion what of that. And you never used to hear American are dead in the war, no hear American are dead. American is dying in the war. We don't have no concern about it. Because we see says white people are kill white people again. Because it's supposed to black people are kill black people all the while. But we say white people is capable of killing white people and don't feel no way about it. Then you never know say they have slavery in England. When I talk about slaves from Africa, we are talking about when the Romans them overtake Britain. Because them days that slavery wasn't like how we see it. It was a normal thing. The word slave is not a African word. And it never pinpoint to only Africans. You know. Even the Bible tell you about slavery. You know, your Paul said, servant must be obedient to their masters. Because them never look upon slavery as how we are look upon slavery. That is why Queen Elizabeth did say it's not she don't have nothing to do with slavery. Because at that time it illegal. Slavery is legal at the time. Even though it caused so much death and destruction from people. She said it's legal. But we know who feels it, knows it, and knows that it's not a legitimate way to people, for people, to deal with other people, no matter what you is or who you is. Slavery is not a good thing, no matter what age, because every slave wants to be free from its master. And white people used to wonder why the slave them, the African them, want free. And look how nice them life is. Just like how we inside of Jamaica say, we want freedom. And people say, freedom from what? You're in a black country. So why you want freedom from what? Well, little more you say everybody a ball out for freedom. Little more people ball out for freedom. And them a ball so much that nobody now hear. Because the freedom we are search for, we have to find it first within ourselves. And when you know, so you're really free, is when you don't have nobody around the corner I tell you all sort of foolishness, whether socially, politically, or religiously. When we can stand up and declare our spirituality, defining ourselves through our way of life, when we don't use our next man religion to define ourselves, and then start say, if we think out of that religion, everything else is irrational and illogical, just like democracy. If we decide so we're not in another democracy, you hear say, democracy is the best form of government. Then how come the people them have 1% of the population can feed the whole 90% of the population? What kind of thing that when them say democracy? Look on America. A minute, a little bit of people in America. You know them say the 5 richest men in the world can stop poverty. No, not poverty, hunger. Yeah, man. Them say the 5 richest men in the world can stop hunger on earth. And the 5 richest man them is some white guys sitting up certain places. I hear them attack. And we say, how is it that we don't recognize freedom is not where we're there, so no, it's not what is happening now. That's not freedom. Because we don't see no shackles. You have slaves who never see a chain upon them yet. Even in our old time days. You have slaves in Europe, me I talk about now. In Europe, Romans, white people, enslaved white people. You have the Slavs, the nomadic tribes. All tribe them have to. If he says only African people have tribes, them want to say the whole Africa is tribe because them feel so disorganized. Them have nation because nation have a semblance of organization. But slavery is part of them domain. As a matter of fact, it's a human thing to have slaves. And no slave is comfortable with his position. He want to be free. But you have slaves who become nice with them slave master because them slave master can give them the crumbs off of the table. The slave master can give them old shoes when done wear already. And you feel good, you go and go boast off on the field slave. Say, look where your master give you. Master give him old shoes. And you eat, we drop off at the table. And that is where we're there. And these people, anytime you hear them kill one another, we feel more compassion than when we hear we are kill ourselves. And we make it look like say we are vicious people. Look how black people. Men has always been killed all over the world. But the most vicious of all is the brutal killing of African people. And it has been going on for 500 years. And now them have black people, across black people, and black people. And when I say black people, never usually people in Africa. We just say the extent in which killings take over now black people in the Western world I saw. And anywhere where you say the governments of the Europeans them spread them wing. When we look upon all them places, we see say the thing where them call white supremacy spread its wings all over the place. And somehow we start to love it because we can wear polo t-shirt and ill figure and Clark's booty and false ear, false eyelash, false fingernail, false breast, false bottom. It's a terrible thing. Terrible. And some is pounced upon continuously. And we are talking about the court of justice for them set up. And we realize that court is only for black people. Just like how we never used to have, you know them say, black woman is more likely to die from what them call child miscarriage than white women. I know me I say that in a film thing, and them say prostate cancer amongst black men is much higher than white men. Breast cancer is much higher amongst black women than white women. We never used to have them things here. I come on here to come develop that through the lifestyle where we have a live now. High blood pressure and diabetes. Them things there is unheard of in a certain tribes in Africa. Hardly, hear them something there. Hear them something there, because them not live them kind of lifestyle here where we are live. So it's not that say, we honor so and, we supposed to say, well, we did better off in Africa. Better off where? We did better off in Africa, we not better off here so. Because we don't know where we miss. Somehow we know where we miss. But really and truly, the things that we develop on here so is alien to us. When the Spaniards them come on here so, with the Taino them, there. Them bring some disease that was alien to the Taino them. Taino them never dead from certain disease. And them come give a certain disease. So it's not like say, we never are right in Africa. I can't hear people say, we did run up and down naked and them something. They're rubbish. Foolishness. Africans wear the most clothes at any one time. And Africans go naked more than most places at any given time. Just like how you can see some big mansion in Africa and there you see some thatch place or some wetland place. We say it is that Africa is the only place where you can change. All right, but come again. Africa is the only place where you can trace human development from where it was 10, 20,000 years ago to now. The evolution of the human being in Africa is traced. What if people don't understand? What if don't understand? So you go to Africa and you see one who is married in a certain nation. Them don't have nothing on the top them, from them waist go up, have nothing. And them what normal. That is them calls them way of life. Girls, not walking normal, from waist go up, naked. And you're like, oh, you both no real. When them get mad, them put her on top and can't find that liberation and freedom in ourselves. This is the continent. We want to play this. This is what we want to play. So, make we hear it go now. Chart, yes.
So Africans might say, would you go after George W. Bush over what Kofi Annan called the illegal invasion of Iraq?
But the U.S. is not a member.
The U.S. is not a member. The United Kingdom is a member.
The United Kingdom, yeah. And
so would you prosecute Tony Blair?
If I have crimes to do, and two conditions. Crimes committed and they are not conducting proceedings.
Well, they're not conducting proceedings in the UK.
They were conducting proceedings. Now,
there are no legal proceedings against Tony Blair in the UK.
No, not against Tony Blair, against lower level.
I'm asking about Tony Blair, head of state, to use Mahmoud's point.
That's the point.
Let's take an example. Britain is signed up. Tony Blair has been accused by many people of breaking international law.
Yeah.
Did you show any interest in prosecuting him when you were in charge?
We tried to collect information about the crimes committed, and we found no connection between Blair and the crimes, and we collected...
So you did investigate Tony Blair?
We conduct preliminary examination on that.
So you would if you had the evidence go after someone like Tony Blair, but you can't touch Vladimir Putin over Ukraine, you can't touch Hu Jintao over Tibet, you can't touch George W. Bush over Iraq. That's what you're saying, is it? How are you an international criminal court if you can't go over three of them as powerful nations in the world?
It's the beginning. It's like when you say,
so eventually we will be able to get the Chinese and the Russians and the Americans...
In 40 years will change, but it's the beginning.
It doesn't embarrass you, just come back to an earlier issue we were discussing, it doesn't embarrass you when the judge and the prosecutor issue these warrants, issue these summons, all of the people over the last 14 years have all been from the continent of Africa.
You hear that? Stream attack. all of the people them who them indict for criminal genocide and all these things, all of them come from Africa. And the criminals them who make millions of people dead, live till them still sun dry them and them just fade away. And them just go sit down at them yard as heroes for them country. We could hear it again.
So Africans might say, would you go after George W. Bush over what Kofi Annan called the illegal invasion of Iraq?
But the U.S. is not a member.
The U.S. is not a member. The United Kingdom is a member.
The United Kingdom, yeah. And
so would you prosecute Tony Blair?
If I have crimes to do, and if two conditions, crimes committed and they are not conducting proceedings.
Well, they're not conducting proceedings in the UK.
They were conducting proceedings. Now,
there are no legal proceedings against Tony Blair in the UK.
No, not against Tony Blair, against lower level.
I'm asking about Tony Blair, head of state, to use Mahmoud's point.
That's the point.
Let's take an example. Britain is signed up. Tony Blair has been accused by many people of breaking international law.
Yeah.
Did you show any interest in prosecuting him when you were in charge?
We tried to collect information about the crimes committed, and we found no connection between Blair and the crimes, and we collected...
So you did investigate Tony Blair?
We conduct preliminary examination on that.
So you would if you had the evidence go after someone like Tony Blair, but you can't touch Vladimir Putin over Ukraine, you can't touch Hu Jintao over Tibet, you can't touch George W. Bush over Iraq. That's what you're saying, is it? How are you an international criminal court if you can't go over three of them as powerful nations in the world?
It's a beginning. It's like when you say,
so eventually we will be able to get the Chinese and the Russians and the Americans.
In 40 years will change, but it's the beginning.
It doesn't embarrass you, just come back to an earlier issue we were discussing, it doesn't embarrass you when the judge and the prosecutor issue these warrants, issue these summons, all of the people over the last 14 years have all been from the continent of Africa.
Again, 125-year-old, he would be, if he was alive. Leonard Howell is the man who come and said to Jamaica must stop worship the King of England, because we have our own king, Emperor Haile Selassie I. Him our savior. Me say that too. Can't allow to make people tell you who for worship and who not for worship, and who for uphold and who not for uphold. We are carve out our own thing. And it might look illogical to certain people, but what are you judging the, because if I can use a word, illogicalness of it? How you come to the conclusion that it is illogical? I can tell you how you come to that conclusion. You come to that conclusion because you're weighing what you know before with what is said now. And what you know before is so embedded in your thinking that there's no way, if you not come out of that thinking, that you can see something else that don't use what you are think to justify the present situation. So, Leonard Howell, there will be a celebration of Leonard Howell Earth Day at the House of Dread. Most people know where that there, Adina Road, right there, Country Farm House. House of Dread, 3 Dina Road. This Sunday, the 18th. And it starts 9 p.m. Want you to remember that, and I'm going to remember too. I have to go. The Leonard Howell celebration, 105th Earth Strong celebration, happening at the House of Dread, 3 Dina Road. That is round Kingston, almost near to Vineyard Town, round to Caxton Park, they saw. Go down Elliston Road, they saw. And you have South Camp Road, way across the other side. Easy to find. DJ Marshmallow, DJ Mikey Mystic, High Vibes International. So you talk about recorded music. So we want you to know that that is taking place this Sunday, the 18th, from 9 p.m. until, here we go. Okay, we're going to start it from it.